Hey, it's Korinn, 365 days of open heart living. Today is day 92, accidents. We had a terrible accident that happened with our dog. He is okay. Is he around here? Look at the poor baby. Oh, Bucky. Yes. So the accident that happened was horrifying, and I can still feel it in my body. Yeah, accidents happen, and I'm just using real life to inspire, talking about real life topics and imparting a little bit of meditation that can help us in the different times in our life when we have things that go wrong, or we have pains that we need to work through, or stresses or traumas. So what happened was Sunday we were coming home from being up north with our camper, and my daughter brought our dog in to the house. I had a backup trailer, not something I'm used to doing, so I was very focused on the task at hand. Well, Bucky got out of the house with his leash on, and I didn't think about it. I saw him, he was barking at the car as I was moving, and then all of a sudden the thought ran through my head of, oh my gosh, he's got his leash on. If he gets stuck under the tire, he won't be able to move. So I stopped the car, I got it out, and I looked, and his poor little face was underneath of the front tire. I looked at him, and his nose was like, the tire was like on his snout and rolled up his eye, and his one eye I could see, and he looked at me, and I thought I crushed his skull. I thought I killed him. So he's okay. He's okay. Thank God he's okay. But what happened was complete just freak out. Yelling at Mary to go in the house because I didn't want her to see, whatever the scene was, thinking I just killed our family dog that we all love. He's a part of our family. Me getting in the car, backing up, like the series of events that transpired. When I backed up from him and I got out of the car and I looked, he kind of staggered and then tried to run, and I went and grabbed him, put him back in the car, quickly tried to figure out as fast as I could where to go, what's the closest animal hospital. He miraculously was not yelping, not anything, like just his eyes were instantly like swollen and red. Yeah, I thought I had caused him brain trauma, and I thought that I had crushed his skull. I didn't know if he was in shock or just like why he wasn't reacting. I was just very scared that he was dying. So we got him to the hospital, and that took quite a bit of time. So Marin, she went with me. She was distraught as well. I was trying to hold it together because I knew I was focused. I just needed to get him there. So the drive there, she's expressing how, Bucky can't die. I still need him. He was the one that helped me through Dad dying, and I'm just like kind of clammed up and just like holding down my emotion just to get him to where he needed to be. I knew I couldn't help him. I needed somebody to be able to help him. And I couldn't. I think I was probably trying to protect her from me also freaking out, because that would have escalated her emotion in it, and just trying to like button it up, stay calm, just not really knowing the situation, just get him to where he needs to go. So yes, we got him there, waited in, his vitals checked out fine straight away. They brought him back to us. We walked back into a room with him, waited for 90 minutes. Sunday at a vet hospital, like, I get it. It's so hard. It's so hard to wait in dire situations like that. So he continued to seem okay. I like pretty much cradled him in my arms so he could not move because I was afraid of something worse happening, of, you know, something coming loose or any of the damages that we didn't know what the situation was getting worse. And then during that time, Marin and I got to have a really good conversation, like, about how it was an accident, you know, like I was the one that caused it. And I kept saying that to myself driving up, like, I did this. I did this. And I think that it was a way for me to, like, because when accidents happen and things are moving in, like, just a different dimension, almost like it's real, but it's not real. I think I was just trying to, like, integrate it, like, and just take responsibility. Like, I did this, and just kind of deal with it in that way of how I was just spontaneously dealing with it by repeating in my head, like, I did this. So Marin and I talked about how it was an accident, and it was not anything intentional. It was not anything that I meant to do. It was something that happened, and just the thought of it happening clicked in my head as it was happening, and I was able to stop and prevented him from being hurt any more than he was. And we're very fortunate to have him here. I feel like that's a big freaking gift. Huge, tremendous gift. And then Marin, my daughter, had commented, like, why does God let stuff like this happen? And so we talked about how, well, there's God's will and then there's human will. And so in human will, there is the space for stuff to take place that can be an accident. Like, it's nobody means for it to happen. It just happens. And it's not really by the will of God or by the will of the human. It's just a series of events that occur that you can't come back from. And we couldn't change the situation we were in, and it was hard for both of us. I kept getting flashes of visuals in my head of his poor little eye looking at me, and just the thought of the tire on his skull, like, I was still feeling like he was really gonna be hurt very badly. And I was very scared, very scared. So the doctors come in, they take him. 90 more minutes later go by, and they come in, they let us know that they don't feel like anything's broken, that he's not letting them palpate around his eye much because it's tender. They're going to do an x-ray. They'll let us know later in the evening how that x-ray turns out, but right now things are looking promising, that his eye is in his socket, so it hadn't bulged and popped out. So the vet did not believe that there was a danger of him losing his eye. So we left there very shook up, but breathing a little easier because it felt like our dog was gonna be okay. But at the same time, like, I still carry that trauma of the accident in my body, and I've been working through it this week, and it's gotten better. Like, the flashes, the human brain, when there's accidents that happen that we witness or that we have caused or that we are subject to, the human brain, the creative side of it can kind of become a monster, because what I kept seeing in my brain was, what if the tire would have gone just a little bit further? And I couldn't stop that visual. But I'm seeing it less. I'm just every night holding him, and when he lays down in my bed, just like really appreciating his presence. And I'm grateful that our accident was not fatal for him. He's healing. He'll be okay. He will be okay. But in any accident that can happen, sometimes there are fatal mistakes. Sometimes there are things that we can't come back from in the accident. And there are 3 vantage points for any accident that happens. The vantage point of the person that has caused the accident, the vantage point of the person who is the subject of the accident, the one who has been accidentally harmed or has accidentally had something happen to them. And then there is the 3rd category, which I'll call them the onlookers, the people in the periphery who are connected to the event happening, connected to the person who caused the accident, or connected to the person who was the recipient of the accident happening to them. And there's so much emotion, and the emotions that come up mostly can be blame and guilt. I was feeling guilty. I was trying to kind of push it off, keep it at bay, because I knew it was an accident, but still, like, I'm human. I felt guilty, like, if I would have killed our dog, that would have been at my error, in my hand. I did that. Those were the thoughts I was saying to myself. And Marin very sweetly was trying to talk to me in the vet room and tell me, Mom, it's not your fault. Like, it was an accident. You didn't mean for this to happen, but I still have responsibility in it. That's a lot to handle. It would be way more for me to handle if Bucky would have died. I would not be in a good place right now at all, nor would my family, because of an accident, an unintentional series of events or occurrence that you can't go back from. As it sits, I am still having things I have to deal with and move through emotionally, mentally, physically, and the tensions that I'm holding, but they're lesser than what I would have had to deal with. For in your life, if you have been the person that an accident has happened and it has caused you traumas and pains, physical, mental, emotional pains, and you are having to be on the receiving end, then blame is likely your mindset that you have to move through. Guilt for doing, blame for being the one that it has been done to. And then blame the same thing. Like, you have physical tensions, you have emotional tensions, you have mental tensions that are holding you back from healing, and playing the thoughts and the visions and the occurrence over and over in your mind can be very exhausting. Same thing for the onlookers, for the people involved. They have emotional investment in either the event or the person that caused the accident, or the person that the accident was, the accident happened to. They have emotional investment, and so their minds and their thoughts and their tensions in their body and their mind and their emotions, they get all bound up too. Accidents, we can be grateful when they come out in a positive way, but that doesn't mean that there aren't underlying issues that still need to be addressed, because we, in the moment when we have traumas that happen and things that happen suddenly, we are not processing. It's like, act fast, don't think, just do, go, like, and everything that's being taken in it doesn't really land. It's kind of just floating out there, and it makes you feel spacey and ungrounded. And so for even the onlookers, there can be things that you also need to move through in processing your emotions bound up in the accident. So today, this meditation on accidents is for anybody who has been involved in an accident. And I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, taking a nice, deep, relaxing breath. And I want you to just first affirm to yourself that this is real. This accident happened. This is real. This accident happened. And as you're saying that, feel in your body how that feels to just validate it. Do you feel tightness in your throat and your heart and your belly? Like, how do you feel validating physically? This accident happened. Feel that now and sit in that feeling. Allow yourself to feel those tensions that come up to the surface, and in sitting and feeling them, they can pop a little bit, bubble and pop. It's like fizz being released in a carbonated beverage. It surfaces to the top and then it releases and it lets go. It's not a tension bubble held in your being anymore. So validate by saying, feel the tension rise in your body. And as you're feeling, that release will come naturally as it bubbles and pops at the surface of acknowledging that this is real. This accident happened. This is real. This accident happened. This is real. This accident happened. Feel in your body where you feel that tension and sit with it until it lets go. This is real. This accident happened. feel in your heart, in your physical heart center of the body, and opening the heart, you open up flow for those tensions to also physically dissipate. This is real. This accident happened. And feel. Breathe into your body, into those spaces and places that hold the tension of the accident, the validation of it happening and being real. Breathe into that space now. Allowing the tension held in your body to be felt, allowing the energy of your attention, of your awareness, to feel it rise to the surface of your feelingness, and then to let it pop at the surface and relax after the release happens. Take in a nice deep breath, and again say and validate, this is real. This accident happened. Wherever you feel it in your body, feel it. Allow your heart center to open at the same time. And allow the energy of the trapped, held emotion of the accident to release through your physical release of feeling until it dissipates. This is real. This accident did happen. And I am recovering from it happening now. Affirm that 3 times. I am recovering from the accident happening now. I am recovering from the accident happening now. Deep breath in. I am recovering from the accident happening When you're ready, open your eyes. When things happen that we can't change, and as we're talking about, they can be an accident. We're talking about accidents. When things happen accidentally that we can't change, there is trauma, emotion, mental kind of visuals and thoughts and physical tensions that get stuck in us. If we don't process the accident, we stay stuck in a part of it. And that is not helpful for healing, for moving on. So in affirming that it is real, that this happened, it is allowing some integration. Integration of any trauma is going to put us in a place of being able to function inside of it instead of it shutting us down and preventing us from functioning in one of those ways of the 4 dimensions. Stopping us from functioning emotionally by shutting us down, stopping us from functioning mentally by keeping maybe a thought pattern playing over and over and over, and not processing through and giving kind of air to allow those thoughts to change. The physical tensions can hold us in our own body and create weak points of stress that then later can actually result in like greater injury or pains, aches and pains in the body. And then the spiritual heaviness of unresolved traumas, unresolved accidents that can kind of shroud your light and keep you in a guilt frame of mind, a guilt frame of spiritual buoyancy where you're not able to bounce back. You're wearing your guilt. You feel like it is your fault, and maybe it is your fault. It was definitely my fault. It happened at my hand. But at the same time, you can't not deal with that emotion of guilt. You have to feel it and allow it to be felt, and allow what you feel in your body to light up, and take breaths into that space. And because the integrative whole of who we are and how we function, it's not compartmentalized. So when we feel physically and we're allowing physical release, we are also allowing mental release, emotional release, spiritual release. In the blame category, if you are the unfortunate victim of an accident, I am so sorry for what you have had to endure and what you continue to endure. And I too want you to allow yourself the space to integrate and process that feeling of blame, the feeling of regret, potentially, of being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people and the wrong circumstances. You have to feel your life so that the hard parts of life do not close you down in how you speak and feel and are in your life, but so that the hard parts are actually something that helps you to open up, to express, to be self-aware, to the point that, yes, I have blame for this person or this event, or I have regret that this happened. It's all valid. But it's either going to keep you stuck in its validity or in affirming it and being brave to move through feeling it. That space is created where your energy can move and flow and not be trapped, so that you can be someone who has integrated the accident instead of pushed it away to the point that it's still real, it's still valid, it's still there, but pushed it away to the point that you have not dealt with it healthfully. May God be with you in your healing, and may you live your heart.